Good evening or afternoon. It is Thursday, December the 7th. I was just watching the Premier's meeting or news conference or whatever you might want to call it on YouTube and the CPAC channel. And I am making my post today. I was pretty darn sick yesterday, which is why I didn't make a post yesterday. Today, this one is right up my alley because this is the primary reason I made this channel, and I want to discuss. And eventually, I'm going to have open forum discussions. But for now, the premiers are talking about how the federal government doesn't want to meet with them with respect to uh, uh, transfer payments for healthcare. Well, of course he doesn't. That does not surprise me because we all know that Mr. Trudeau got into the government system in the first place by bribing the pot smokers out there with the relaxation and alleviation of the medical marijuana laws in Canada. Fine. I think that was appropriate because what it's done with medical marijuana is it's made medical marijuana available to people to use at their discretion, which in my opinion is a little less dangerous than alcohol, number one. Number two is it is an effective um, plant for many different reasons, aside from just getting a euphoric feeling from it. So, and I think the medical community is bearing that out. But his whole purpose as being placed in government in the position he was as a puppet, was to make absolutely certain that euthanasia laws were ratified and passed through the Senate, passed and became Canadian law. Euthanasia is the whole reason he was ever elected in the first place. The fact of the matter is, if the premiers are concerned or really wondering, some of them I dare say are not, but some of them may be actually wondering why the transfer payments are a big problem and why the government of Canada, the dictator puppet, Mr. Trudeau, is not responding to their request to sit down at a table to meet. It's because his dictate immediately has always been kill, kill, and kill. And that's what you're going to get your medication, your money for. The 22% is to kill off the elderly. The 22% of funding that the government gives the provinces is to kill off the elderly, to kill off the unborn children, to kill off the mentally ill, to kill off the disabled, and to kill off anybody else that might cost money. That's the only funding they're receiving. That's the only funding they'll ever get. And until the laws for euthanasia have been repealed, every province is going to do the same thing. Is there any doubt in your minds now when recently the euthanasia law there was an attempt to expand the euthanasia law in Canada by a Quebec, I believe it was a Quebec minister, who tabled a bill to have children under the age of 1 who were born with extreme disabilities euthanized. If anybody is in any doubt that our healthcare system is in a disaster, because we're funding things like abortion up till the day a child is born. We're funding things like killing children now that are born as a result of an abortion but didn't die. We must kill them now, right? Euthanize them. We're funding sexual transition therapy. We're not funding anything with respect to women's health, other than making absolutely certain that they don't reproduce. Anything above and beyond that is not being funded. Myself, I know firsthand, and I can prove firsthand what the Ontario, some hospitals in Ontario, and the Ontario government medical funding has been doing to the hospitals in my neighborhood, because we had a hard lesson during the COVID when nothing was treated but COVID. No diagnostics were being done. The COVID, if it wasn't, well, first of all, it's been proven from all, well, I'm not really going to go too much into COVID because, as we know, that's a big secret we're not allowed to know too much about, because God forbid. I suggest we ask ourselves why that has. Usually people want to be transparent when they're being honest. They don't mind what you know if it's the truth. Just saying. That's my statement for today, and I'm angry again, which is good because that anger sometimes needs to get out and be directed in the right place. Call your premiers, call your MPP. Let's see about maybe, making Ontario lucrative again too, Mr. Ford, by doing the same thing that Alberta's done. I'm just saying. Saskatchewan's done, Quebec has done. Maybe Ontario could start using its resources. Hydroelectric power for one. Nuclear power for another. Aren't those non-existent now that Mr. Trudeau wants the world to give up any form of energy that his friends can't make money off of? I'm just saying. Have a good day, and I hope to talk to you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.